I'll keep this one short and simple. It was evident that the OnePlus Nord would either live or die by its software. Fast forward 7 months into me using it as my daily driver, I think it manages to live up to its expectations. Barely. Ironically, the one aspect about the Nord that was absolutely bashed on by the early reviews just so happens to be one of my favorite parts about the phone, the display. It's big, vibrant, and fast. I'm glad OnePlus went with a 90Hz AMOLED panel instead of opting for a 120Hz LCD one. The tint issue that got severely out of hand is something I stopped noticing after a couple of days as well. If anything, the display on the Nord is what's keeping me from switching back to my OnePlus 5. The glass sandwich and plastic framed build holds up pretty fine and doesn't make me want a more premium feel in the hand, especially given how I mostly use the phone with a case or a skin anyway. Of the 6 cameras that this phone has, I only used maybe a maximum of 4, and it was a pretty sweet experience. The photos are sharp, well balanced, and the main sensor has a great dynamic range. I've said it countless times in my videos before, cameras on a smartphone have never been a deciding factor for me, but the Nord has a decent set of them just in case anyway. Upgrading from the OnePlus 5, one of my biggest concerns with the Nord was just how the Snapdragon 765G inside would hold its ground against the 835 that I switched from. Truth be told, I am quite disappointed. My hopes that an upper mid-range SoC would have been able to beat a 3-year-old flagship processor were disproven. Performance isn't so bad that I would just switch back to my OnePlus 5, but it's quite close. The phone has no problem scrolling or navigating within an app when it's fully loaded. It is the actual loading part that takes the longest, probably thanks to the slower UFS 2.1 storage that OnePlus opted for. I recently upgraded to the OxygenOS 11 Open Beta, and that just made things worse. Apps take more time to load, many don't even stay in memory, and OxygenOS still suppresses many apps from sending notifications when your device is in sleep. Side by side with the OnePlus 5, the Nord just feels like it's struggling to keep up with the daily set of apps that I use. Normally, I would let these things slide because all of them could be countered with software updates and bug fixes. But the fact of the matter is that OnePlus is treating the Nord lineup of phones as a second priority at best. I miss being first in line to receive updates right after Pixel users, and I miss the quick bug fixes that OnePlus used to issue once upon a time. Obviously, this could be blamed on all the changes that OnePlus has gone over as a whole, seeing as how the 7 series of devices hasn't been treated well either. I knew full well before rushing into buying this phone that the software support would be the one thing that would either make or break the experience for a non-flagship phone by OnePlus. I was overly optimistic about the Nord venture and was blinded by the exceptional software support that OnePlus has had for years. It may have appeared that I bashed the Nord a ton in this narrative, however, I do like this phone. I think OnePlus's decision for going with a mid-ranger that is a jack of all trades but a master of none is how most upper mid-range phones should be. I love the display, the cameras are more than I could ask for, OxygenOS still remains to be a great skin atop Android, and the Nord still feels like a OnePlus phone. That said, this might be the last OnePlus phone I'd use as my daily driver.